On today's episode, dice, a crochet hook, and some scrap yarn. You know what that means. That is strip number 9 of my scrappy blanket. So grab a bevy and perhaps a snack or your own project that you're working on, and join me to see how this one turns out. Hello and welcome to or back to Miss Crafts' Lair. I am Barbie. If you are just joining me on this journey, I have been for the past, 9 months here, working on a scrappy blanket using a bunch of scrap yarn that I have left over from other projects. I have been collecting these for quite some time. So I have 2 rather large totes of scrap yarn. I have decided that I am going to work through those by making a scrap blanket using a G-hook and, of course, as I mentioned, dice. Today my dice are from a set that was given to me by one of my friends. I love this set. I think they're beautiful, and the numbering, that the font for the numbers is just intriguing. Anyway, also for supplies, I am using a brown stitch marker to denote which number of strip it is, so that when I go in to sew all of these together, I'm going to know which one goes where. So to give you a little bit of a background, if you have not watched any of these, I am using 20 different colors of scrap yarn, and I will show you that color palette now. Here is that color palette. I know that I've had to play around with the lighting a little bit with this one, because that light pink that is in number 2 slot really does not like my lighting at all, and the camera is just, it's bad. So I had to play around with lighting, and I had to play around with the settings for this camera today. So if it looks a little bit different than normal, that is why. So I've already said that I'm using the G-hook. This one I'm using is the Boy Ergonomic hook. I have said my piece before on these hooks. I don't think I'm going to be buying those anymore. Anyway, that's beside the point. I'm also going to, of course, need scissors, because there is going to be a lot of yarn changing. I did show you the 20 colors. However, in between each color, so each color is going to get 8 rows of moss stitch, and in between those, I am doing 2 rows of cream. So, oh, I had completely got out of that too, didn't I? Okay, well now I have to take the quick moment here to pull up my information again, because that's the way it goes. So on my computer screen here, if you can see it in the glare in my computer, in my glasses or whatever, I do have my cheat sheet going as far as this particular project is going. So I've already said that I am using the G-hook, and I also mentioned that I am using the moss stitch. So each color, I roll for the color, I go grab the color. Color is used for 8 rows, gets 2 rows of the cream color in between, and then it goes to the next color. I'm hiding all of my tails as I go. I have figured that one out. I do know that I have a strip that I have to go back in and switch stuff around, but that's going to be a different day. Anyway, so in order to make the moss stitch, I chain 20 stitches, single crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then across I am going to chain 1, skip 1 chain, and single crochet in the next chain across. That gets me 9 single crochets, 8 spaces, and then for the next row, which is the repeat row, I am going to chain 2, single crochet in the chain 1 space, and chain 1 and and repeat that across. Kind of turns into a slight mesh look. So another thing too to mention is the fact that that first color is going to get an extra row of stitches just to make it just a little bit easier as far as everybody switching over, and when it comes time to do the 3 rows of the neutral color along the side. So let me get to this and we shall start rolling. And when it comes to rolling the dice, I am using my yarn bowl so then that way I can catch it. So I am not trying to hunt out my my dice. A little bit easier because, as I said, different dice than what was being used. The other ones like to hide on my carpet. And if you are going to walk around on your carpet, you do not want to find this particular die with your feet. All right. So as you can see, I have 3 dice. I have the D20, the D10, and the D4 as far as dice goes. So if you have not watched this before, I roll the D20 until I get down to 10 colors, switch over the D10, use that until I get down to 4. Then with the D4, I roll twice for the actual colors. And so then I go and use those colors. The very last roll is an even or odd roll because the fact that nobody wants to see me have to roll the dice a bunch of times to come up with the number of the yarn that we need. With that being said, first roll. 4. Color 1 is done. Time for roll 2. 8. Roll 3. 12. 13. 2. And the 2 pinks are going to be up next to each other, but I really don't mind that. This is also the pink that wanted to mess with the camera so much, so yay, that's going to be done. 16. 5. I am sensing a theme going on here. We had 2 pinks, now we have 2 grays next to each other. Errands ran, new mic swapped out, old mic still charging. Now it is time to do the 8th roll. So let's get that done. 3. And roll number 9 is 16, which I already did. 19. I'm fairly certain that this die is punking me. 2 pinks, 2 grays, now 2 reds. That was color number 9, which means that we are on our last roll of the D20 for this particular strip. I am going to go ahead, roll this number, grab the yarn that is associated with the number. That is when I am going to go ahead and rearrange the yarn to make it easier for the D10. So I am going to go ahead, roll quick, and you'll see some of that. Color number 7. And now it is on to segment or color number 10. And this chocolate brown is also kind of close to this red because it's kind of a brownish red. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this works up. I am done with color number 10. I have rearranged the color palette onto the D10, and our first color is 2. Next roll, 4. It is time for another roll, and we have 1. It is time for another roll. 1, just did it. 8. Next roll, 7. I am up to roll 16, which means that this is the last roll for the D10 for this particular strip. And when I roll this, or after I roll this, I'm going to go ahead, grab the corresponding color that I have rolled, and make the remaining 4 skeins or 4 scraps just a little bit easier to see and pick from to move on to the D4. So last roll for the D10 tonight. 9. Okay, I don't think that I went over this fairly well. I have the D4. We have 4 colors remaining in the palette. Now, what I am intending to do, and what I have been doing for like the other 8 strips of this, is I get down to 4 colors. I roll this particular dice twice. So I roll it one time, get the number, go pick up the corresponding yarn, bring it back to the desk. I roll it again, same thing, corresponding number, go get it, bring it back to the desk. Work through that, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll this one more time, and the 2 remaining yarns, one will be considered an even number, one would be odd, and depending on what number rolls on that third roll is going to be which yarn goes next. The last remaining, obviously, will be the 20th color for this strip. So I'm going to go ahead and get this rolled to see what color we are getting next. 2. Roll 2 for the D4. 3. We are down to the last roll. I am labeling the navy blue as odd, and I am labeling the brown as even. So let's see what we get. Odd. So I'm going to start off with the blue and go on to the brown. Now I have 2 blues together. Oh, this is going to be a very interesting stripe. Or it already is a very interesting stripe. The ball of yarn is too big for my yarn ball, so it is not going to roll. It's going to just funkily twist. Okay, so I did not mention this before, but if you have seen other videos of this from me, you know I do not do the last two cream rows at the end. So this is all done. This is what I have so far. I am going to chase down the side with 3 rows of single crochet in, I would call this like almost, I guess, a wheat color. It's a different off white than the cream that's in here. But so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be back in a little bit. Here is that this strip all done. I have attached its stitch marker. I may have made a mistake when it came to the first square. I can't remember if it was supposed to have the tail come towards the strip or not. It will work out when I am sewing it all together. However, I do think I may have put an extra row in there. So we'll find out. We'll see. It'll all come out and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, share, and consider subscribing. I am still working on goals. I would love to grow this channel more. And I think we learn and have fun. So I'm just gonna say that. So until next time, bye. You know that's going to come at the end of this video, right? With this... Oh, yay. People. Guess what I forgot to do?
Hold on, don't pause your video yet.
Don't pause my video yet? Or do you mean don't unpause? Hold on, don't.
Oh, you are tethered.
I am tethered because...
You are no longer tethered. That was your charger, right?
Yeah.
You're not using your stuff, right? Okay. Then your phone does not have to be in the room.
She stole my phone! My phone has been yeeted! Yeeted, yoinked, and yeehawed! Do 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 do